Have you ever woken up and thought, why do I feel so off even when nothing's wrong? You slept fine, had your morning coffee, maybe even stretched a little. And yet something quietly pulls at your energy, your joy, your lightness. It's subtle, like walking with a stone in your shoe, not enough to stop you, just enough to wear you down. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Especially after 65, there are a handful of small daily habits, things we don't even notice, that slowly chip away at our sense of peace, purpose, and pleasure. This isn't about overhauling your life. It's about awareness. It's about noticing the moments that feel heavier than they should, and learning how to lighten them again. In this video, we're going to talk about the daily habits that steal your joy in ways most people never name out loud, and more importantly, how to take that joy back. But before we dive in, take a second to hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you don't miss a single conversation that's built to support your health, your happiness, and your sense of calm in the years ahead. Every like and share helps this channel reach the people who need it most. And if anything we say today hits home, let us know in the comments. Your voice makes this space feel like home for all of us. All right, let's start with a habit that's so common, it's almost invisible. Starting the day with negative input. The moment we wake up, many of us grab our phones, scroll the news, check emails, flip through social media, and within 2 minutes the nervous system is already on edge. There's a sense of tension we carry into breakfast, into conversation, into how we feel in our own skin. And we don't always realize it started before we even stood up. Try trading that first 5 minutes for stillness. Not a perfect meditation, just a pause, a breath, a gaze out the window. Let your mind wake up before the world barges in, because how your morning begins often shapes the entire tone of your day. Now, there's another sneaky habit that likes to dress itself up as just being realistic. I'm talking about rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You know the voice, what if I fall? What if I get sick and nobody notices? What if my money runs out? After 65, when the world seems to shrink a little, the mind can start filling in blanks with fear instead of curiosity. But here's the thing. Worry doesn't prevent the future, it robs the present. When we dwell in what might go wrong, we often miss the beauty of what's going right now. So the next time those thoughts sneak in, try this. Name one thing that feels steady, one thing that feels safe, one thing that makes you smile. It sounds simple, but it shifts the channel. And sometimes that's all we need to begin again. One more joy stealer that deserves a spotlight? Over-apologizing. Saying sorry when you've done nothing wrong. Saying it for speaking your mind, for asking a question, for needing help. It's something many of us, especially women, were taught from a young age. Be nice, don't cause trouble, don't take up space. But every time we apologize for simply existing, we send ourselves a message. You're a burden. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You are not a burden. You are a full, vibrant, complex human being who deserves space, who deserves to be heard without shrinking. So the next time you hear yourself saying sorry out of habit, pause and try thank you instead. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Gratitude affirms you. Apology diminishes you. And you, my friend, are done dimming your light. Let's keep going. Because when we call these habits out, something powerful happens. They lose their grip. They stop running the show, and in their place, and we get to choose. We get to choose ease. We get to choose joy. We get to remember that life after 65 isn't about fading. It's about refining. Let's keep walking that path together. Because the beauty of this chapter in life is that we finally have the clarity and the freedom to decide what stays and what goes. And what goes are the things that quietly drain us, the habits that sneak in without asking, and slowly rewrite our days with a heaviness that doesn't belong. Let's talk about another one, saying yes when you mean no. It happens so fast, doesn't it? Someone asks for a favor, invites you somewhere, needs your time, and before you've had a chance to check in with yourself, your mouth is already agreeing. You smile, you nod, and later you wonder why your chest feels tight, or why you're resenting something you never wanted to do in the first place. People-pleasing doesn't disappear just because we age. If anything, for some of us, it gets louder, especially when we've always been the dependable one, the caretaker, the peacemaker. But there comes a time when you have to ask yourself, is this kindness or is this conditioning? Because there's a difference between generosity and self-erasure. And after 65, your energy is far too precious to give away out of guilt or habit. Next time a request comes your way, pause, even just 3 seconds. Take a breath. Say, "Let me check my day and get back to you." That simple sentence creates space. Space to feel, to think, to choose. And when you do say yes, let it be from a place of joy, not obligation. That's how we reclaim our time. Now let's gently look at something else. Holding on to old routines that no longer serve you. It might be the habit of eating dinner at a certain time, watching the same programs, sticking to schedules that once made sense, but now feel rigid or draining. Sometimes we do things out of comfort, and sometimes out of fear that change means loss. But not all change is loss. Some change is growth, evolution, relief. You don't have to hold on to something just because it's familiar. Ask yourself, does this still bring me joy? Does it make my day better or just busier? You're allowed to rewrite the script, to shift dinner to candlelight and music if it feels better, to swap a television hour for journaling, painting, walking barefoot in the grass. You're allowed to refresh your rituals because you are not a relic. You are a living, breathing, evolving being. And if we're being honest, one of the biggest joy stealers of all is comparison. Especially in the age of social media, where everyone's highlight reel is front and center. It's so easy to look at someone else's photos, their lifestyle, their family, and feel that gnawing sense of less than. But here's what I've learned. Comparison is the thief of gratitude. And gratitude is the birthplace of joy. You never see what someone's not posting. You don't see the quiet grief, the health struggle, the worry behind their smile. And your story? It's not behind. It's yours. It's woven with its own kind of magic. Don't measure your worth by someone else's timeline. Instead, start where you are. Celebrate what's here. The hand that still writes, the heart that still loves, the morning that still greets you. Those are miracles, not afterthoughts. When you focus on what's real, the urge to compare melts into appreciation. And that's where peace begins. You've made it through seasons that would have broken others. You've laughed through loss, carried people through storms, and stood up after every fall. So don't let habits built on autopilot define these years. You have the power to reset, to realign, to reimagine. Not because something's wrong with you, but because something woke up in you. And that something is joy, knocking gently, asking to come home again. Let's keep opening that door together. Because once you open that door, even just a little, you start to notice the breeze change. The way small things feel more sacred. A hot cup of tea, a moment of silence, the sound of your own laughter catching you off guard. That's what happens when you stop living in default mode and start choosing your days with intention. And that brings me to another daily habit that quietly steals joy. Multitasking everything. We think we're being efficient, folding laundry while on the phone, eating lunch while watching the news, thinking about tomorrow while brushing our teeth today. But what actually happens is we blur through the moments that hold the most peace. The brain stays revved, the breath stays shallow, and joy slips through the cracks because we're never fully in any moment. We're just moving through them. Try doing just one thing with your whole attention. Feel the water as you wash your hands. Taste your food even if it's something simple. Look out the window and notice the light without also scanning your to-do list. These aren't just mindfulness tricks. They're invitations to feel alive. And the more often you do that, the more your days begin to feel like yours again. There's one more sneaky habit that deserves our attention before we wrap this up. And that's ignoring your own voice. After 65, you've likely spent decades being a parent, a partner, a provider, a professional. You've answered questions, solved problems, been who others needed you to be. But when was the last time you sat with yourself and asked, what do I want now? Not what should I do, not what's expected, not what will make everyone else comfortable, just what stirs me, what excites me, what soothes me. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Your purpose doesn't expire. Your dreams don't have a deadline. And your joy isn't a leftover from younger years. It's something you get to rediscover every single day, as long as you're breathing. Start small. What's something you loved doing as a child? A craft, a song, a story, a quiet walk under trees. Revisit that. Let it be silly. Let it be sacred. Just let it be yours. You've earned more than just rest. You've earned reverence. For your time. For your energy. For the life you still get to shape. So if anything in this video resonated with you, if you felt seen or stirred or simply less alone, I invite you to share it with someone who might need this reminder too. Drop a comment below and tell us, which habit are you letting go of starting today? And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss these soul-soothing, joy-sparking conversations. This channel isn't just content, it's a community. A space for those of us who know that aging isn't about fading. It's about rising again and again into deeper truth and brighter joy. Here's to less noise, more peace, less pressure, more presence. And here's to you, living, laughing, and choosing joy on your own beautiful terms.